Right, folks, hello. If you saw my last video earlier today, you'll know that I wanted to get this video out to you much earlier today, but I couldn't because of problems, most of which seem to have been sorted out by my reinstallation of Automobilista 2. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. It's called Automobilista Update, A Message to You, Reza. Did anyone get the song reference, by the way? Reza, a message to you, Reza. No? Forget it. Anyway, some of the issues seem to have been sorted out since the reinstall. My memories have stopped jumping about a bit, and hopefully I won't experience that sort of sticky brakes thing anymore, which is completely besides the point to the M6. But anyway, the review of the M6 is coming. But first, there's a couple of things I've got to show you, including what you can do with the Cayman, because the Porsche Cayman, well, it's a bit tame. I want to see what it was like if you made it a bit more wild. But that in a minute. I've got to tell you this because it's really funny. This guy came in the forums after I posted my video. He didn't seem too pleased that I was doing a video in a vest top. I mean, he came on, he said, can you succinctly tell us the issue? Not inclined to watch 15 minutes of a man in a vest waffling in his bedroom. Well, pardon me, I do apologise, my dear sir. I hope this is not to your liking. And to put it succinctly, the brakes in the TC were rather fucked. So after that, someone else came back and just asked me what was my experience, what was the issue. So I replied and told him. He's come back to that one, this other fella, and said a desire for YouTube videos, I imagine. Well, yes, mate, because, everyone that's ever made a YouTube video and spent a few hours doing it has, sat back afterwards and looked at it and thought, I hope no one watches that. But I tell you what, just for you, if you want to stick a couple of cool mil in me Patreon account, I'll go and rent out the Taj Mahal and do the next one in there for you, mate. Just for you. So, anyway, yeah. So the Cayman. Right. So the Cayman, Porsche Cayman, it's been very, very understeery since it came out with that default setup it's got. And in my video just before, I did mention that you got to play with these setups. And well, Cayman, it kind of sounds, sounds very much like differently spelt, like that little, little crocodile fella. And, they're wild. So, what would the Cayman be like in the wild? Maybe a little bit like this?
The Cayman readies itself, stalks its prey, the corner, as it devours it in its oversteer. Pleased with itself, it will no longer eat for at least another day.
It's loads of fun. I've got to tell you, I've been having so much good fun with this sim just recently, and it's getting better and better. Just got to say a big thank you to Reza for all you're doing, and thanks for the free car, the BMW, and all of the GT3s. And I tell you what, if you enjoyed that last bit, at the end of the BMW review, I'm going to stick on a little bit more of how much fun you can have with that Cayman. If you want to know what the setup is, if you haven't already done one yourself, put something in the comments and I'll maybe make a video with that setup. Anyway, that'll be at the end of the video. So on to the BMW. Right, so here it is. After my reinstallation of Automobilista, back in the game with the BMW M6 GT3. Look at it. Isn't it huge? Look at the length of that thing. So we're going to go to Nuremberg and the GP track at 10 o'clock in the morning because, well, I've been driving the M6 in R-Factor 2 around at that track. So I'm going to check lap times against that just for a basis of comparison. And we'll go through some of my thoughts on this new free car. Thank you, Reza. You lovely people. They're so nice to us. Keep giving us free cars. Not going to do anything to the setup. Apart from stick 12 laps. I think I had 12 laps of fuel in an R factor. We're just going to keep everything bog standard. And here we are. Yes, as you'd expect. It's very wide. Big, wide cockpit going on there. And I am going to try and replicate what I had in R-Factor. So the traction control was on low in R-Factor 2. And the anti-lock brakes were on about 9, which I'd class as high. In this game, you have high, low, or I mean, you can change the ABS in the settings as well, but as a general setting you have high and low. So let's get rid of all of that. It's oh so pit speed limiter. So here we are, yes, and as I found in R Factor 2, this car, you know, it's got a big V8 engine up the front, twin turbo, and it's got a bit of a growl to it, but it's a very reserved growl, indeed, and not like a Corvette or something like that. And what I have noticed from the quick drive around I've had in it is that the sounds are really good. There's a really nice whine to it. Now, I've heard some people on the forums have been mentioning that they're having an issue with distortion at mid-rev range, and I hadn't noticed this before because I was concentrating on, well, my other issues that I was having, which now seem to have been cleared up. Maybe it was just my installation, or some of them have. Anyway, I can hear a little click. There's a tiny little distorted click. You barely notice it. There we go, there it's clicked a couple of times there. I don't know if you heard it. So yeah, there does seem to be a slight issue there. Other than that, I would say the sounds are good. I am generally impressed by the sounds in Automobilista 2. And so from my experience in R Factor, as my basis of comparison, I haven't tried it in, say, ACC or anything like that yet. It does feel similar, very similar. Well, when I say very similar, there are a lot more similarities than there are differences, and I think that's a good thing, because of course, as these simulations become more and more realistic, the end result ultimately is that each car in each simulation behaves very much the same, because, well, we're going for realism here. You know, it's like a painting. This is not impressionist. Although, talking of paintings, coming out of R Factor 2 and coming to this, I couldn't really tell you which has the better graphics. I mean, I would say Project Cars is... Yes, Project Cars? Oh, what a slip of the tongue there. This is built on the Project Cars engine. What I meant to say was this comes from the Project Cars engine, which was always very beautiful. So the graphics in this are fantastic, but when I jump into R Factor 2, it has elements of its graphics which I really like. And of course it's all artwork, really. You know, these are not photographs around the track. They have been crafted by artists. And I find the palette very different, you know, between R Factor 2 and AMS2. One's like a Jasper Johns, the other one's a bit like a Hopper. Anyway, I will say that this looks absolutely fantastic and sounds fantastic. Now the BMW itself, the car, you know, you've got that big V8 engine up the front, twin turbo, loads of power, about 500 horsepower in here. You're weighing in at about 1,300 kilograms, so it's, you know, reasonably heavy car, and it's long and wide. Look at how wide that dashboard is. And you really feel that it's really translated, I think, very, very well, because it grips and it grips and it grips, but when it goes, it really sort of goes all of a sudden, and you'd expect that with the inertia from a weighty car, but also because it's so big and so long, you've got that huge wheelbase there, so when it does go, you've got quite a long way for the pendulum to swing until you've really lost it, so there is a good margin for error there. So it's fun to that respect, but also, and I think this might be to do with the fact that it's, you know, it's a modern car, it's very large, when you're going fast in this, it doesn't feel as fast as other cars. And you know, I've found this in R Factor 2, the other sim that I'm doing in it as well, just because it's so big. And that can play tricks with you a little bit. I should imagine it's similar driving the real thing, you know. I should imagine if you drove one of these, doing 100 miles an hour would feel like you would, you know, you'd probably feel like you wouldn't even notice it. You'd think you were doing 30. And I've been in road cars like that. Oh! And certainly felt the speed there as I lost it. And certainly feel speed when things go wrong. You know, if you take that in comparison to jumping in, say, an old 1988 Escort and doing 117, if you get that out of it, and the whole thing's rattling and shaking, you'd feel like you were in the space shuttle on the Apollo mission, doing hundreds of miles an hour, you know? So there's that. But yeah, I think the weight of the car, the size of the tyres it's on, which are well meaty, are really conveyed well. And because I've just got the season pass, I'm getting to enjoy Nürburgring as well here. I love the Nürburg GP track, one of my faves. And well, I did get the chance to try it when Reza very, very kindly, and I don't know many companies that have, or any sim companies that do this. I think this is really good. What they did is they released the Nürburg GP track for a short while for free to all the users, you know, people who bought the game. So everyone got a chance to have a go, try it out. Whoa! There's that big margin for error. And you know, they got a chance to try it out, and then when the whole pack came out, including the Nordschleifer, they took it away again. And so they thought, well, you know, if you didn't like it that much, you'd have to buy it. But I should think everyone's gone out and bought it because it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I had a wonderful time when I bought the full game, if you like, the season pass. Spent about an hour going around Nürburg Nordschleife, and it's just lovely. Now, what this car has got is it's extremely planted. You will get a bit of understeer if you go into a corner too fast with all that weight up the front there, but also if you want to, there you go, you can kick the back end out. And like I said, when it does go, it goes. And once again, I found that very similar to the version in R Factor 2. Now, I tried doing some laps. I thought I'd jump into R Factor 2, seeing as that's where I'm used to the car, and try a few laps around the Nordschleife, around the Nürburg GP, exactly the same track, and just do about 3 or 4 laps and see if I could get a good average time. And I was doing, with traction control and ABS on the default settings, I was doing just over 2 minutes, and then I turned traction control and ABS off, and I was doing between 2.1 and 2.2. And, well, pardon, 2.2. There's the back end going. Now, in this, I did the same thing, but it was a bit more rushed, because I had something to deal with. And with the default setup and traction control on low and ABS on high, I was doing just below the 2.2s. So there's a bit of a difference in lap time there, but I had just jumped out of one sim into another. Now, oh, completely lost it there. See, when it goes, it really goes. Now, when I turned off traction control Oh, sorry. When I turned off traction control and ABS in this car, in this sim, I ended up going a lot faster, closer to the 2s that I was getting, or the just over 2 zeros that I was getting in R Factor. Now, why is that? Now, this comes down to some of the issues that I found. Earlier on, before I re-downloaded Automobilista, I found that with the traction control on, I was getting worse times. And I'm going to try and show you what I mean. I think, now that I've re-downloaded, it's obviously my installation, not a bug. If I put the traction control on high, it was stopping, I realised it was stopping this car from revving. It was taking so long to accelerate. So, if I go from 0 to, let's say, 200 kilometers per hour, there we go, accelerates just fine. And same thing with the traction control off, although we might run out of road before we get to 200. A little bit more wheel spin as you'd expect with the traction control off. Let's go across here because else we're not going to get to 200. Yeah, we've run out of road, but the acceleration is the same. Now, it seemed that there was an intermittent bug that was stopping the car from revving. That's what I had with my old installation. That and things like trying to drive a car out of the garage and the brakes sticking on. So hopefully, with me reinstalling it, that's sorted that out. So that problem's not there now. But there is this very slight distortion in the sound that is being reported on the forums right now. And also now, for this next little example, let me turn the ABS from high. Now, I'm going to drive down here, try and get to 200 kph and slam on the brake and see what happens. Okay, it came to a halt very quietly. Didn't really feel any ABS kicking in. So let's turn them off. And we'll go to this next straight. Okay, now let's try that again. Now remember, the traction control this time is off. There's 200. There you go. Now, there's no difference between having the ABS on or off. I'm not locking up with the ABS off. And with the huge brakes on this, you know, I would have thought that I would feel something there. I'm also not feeling the ABS kicking in. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, some of the GT3 cars, when they first came out, had this problem, or at least to me what seems like a problem, and I'm quite confident that this will be solved very shortly, because as I said in the last video, Breezer update things quicker than a bullet coming from a gun. So there's my one little gripe. Now, this is just a video really concentrating on this car. I'm not going to go into the full update because of course there are other things to take into account. The AI, I'm just going to try and finish off. I'm going to do that in another video. Right now, I'm just going to try and finish off with a timed lap. So, It's not going to be fast because I'm talking to you people, and also I just pulled out of that corner a bit slowly, but let's see what I can get. Ah, now there, I did get a bit of tyre smoke, but that's whilst cornering. You do seem to get a locking effect when the tyres are cornering. Maybe it's just me. Thoughts in the comments, please. And as always, please subscribe if you're liking, or if you want updates on further videos. It feels great, it really does. This sim is getting better and better and better. Okay. Oh, a little bit slippery there. Oh, okay, well, we've just ruined our lap. Well, look, I'll tell you what, fastest lap is down there as a 2:04.8. So I won't bother with the lap because I don't want to keep you lovely folks too long. And make superfluous comments. But very much enjoying this. You know, I've never driven one of these in real life, so I don't know if this is correct. I've only got R-Factor to judge it against. I'll have to try it in one of the other sims as well. But do I like it? Yes, yes I do. Yes I do, very much. I'm just going to try one last time. Turn those anti-lock brakes off. And also, it's just made me realise something with the gears there. I have to say, AMS, to me, at the moment, has the best drivetrain modelling. Because you actually have to use your clutch. And in sequential cars, it's sequential. And in H-pattern cars, it's H-pattern. There's more information on that in another video. Right, here we go, slamming on the brakes as hard as I can. Nothing but. There you go. If I turn, you get some tyre sounds. So, that's the only thing that I hope will get sorted out. I hope they will. But really enjoying this. It looks great, it sounds great, and it feels great. Excellent stuff coming from Reza. And now, back to that snappy little Cayman. Come on little Cayman, come on out, come on. Oh, he wants to play. Yes, come on. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's having fun. Oh, look at him go, waggling his tail all over the place. Come on, Cayman, come on. Come on. Here he comes. Oh, now you're just showing off. So fun to watch them grow up. Oh. Now you've had enough now. Come on. No. Oh, go on then. Oh, he's learning. Oh, they learn so fast. Yeah. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh, he's going to do it again. Yeah, see, he learns one new trick and then you can't stop him from doing it, can you? I don't know. Happy Cayman. I see, I told you it all ended tears.